Welcome to the one-day coverage of the Grandhammer Top 8 Knockout Elimination Tournament, featuring 8 great competitors playing 4 scrimmages a game. Oh no, a game doesn't make sense. 4 scrimmages a day. Round. There we go. Smashed it. It's early, and we are here. Now, my co-host is late, unfortunately, or more importantly, his internet doesn't work, which is why we do this in person. Blast it. However, I will endeavour to make this as entertaining as I can on my own until my co-host appears, or until I can get a co-host. There's one of those things. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello to everyone watching this back as a VOD. We have got a thrilling game lined up for you guys today. Thrilling. We have Stuart, the Iron Gutsman, the ogre wizard himself. Some call him a Warhammer alchemist, able to produce lists no one has ever seen before, and weirdly, they're always shiny green. And then he's up against Wurzel, playing with his big wall. We talked about these lists yesterday. Let's get straight over to the match. I'm going to do this like a WWE commentator for the entire show. And if you guys don't like it, then, let me know in the chat, because I'm ready to listen. However, here we go. These are the armies. Let's take a look at them. As you can see, we're already deploying. We are playing Scorched Earth. If you guys need to know how that is done, there are 8 objectives on the board. Once you grab an objective, after turn 2, you can burn it, raise it, scorch it from the earth. That's right, it says what it does on the tin. However, you have to obviously control the objective at the end of your turn. If you do it with a hero, you gain an additional victory point. However, important note, if your hero is nearby, the strength of his iron will and the callousness of his cold heart stops you from burning the objective to pieces. So, this is what we are faced with, and these are the 2 armies playing against each other. How are you this chipper? I'm not this chipper. This is pure hate pouring through my voice at 8:15 in the morning. This is how it works. Right, let's talk about the list, shall we? Let's talk about the lists. Wurzel, who, as you can see, is deploying at the bottom, he has got a big war army. That's right, it's a big war army. And the big war army contains a Wargog Prophet with a command trait Dared Cunning. And then he has got, let me just double check, a Wardock, another Wardock, and an Uruk War Chanter. Then he's got 2 Savage Uruks, 2 blocks of 30 Savage Uruks, as we can see right there on the tabletop. And then he has got 2 units of 5 Savage Ball Boys. Pretty clutch, I think, in this matchup. As you can see, there they are. There's one right there. That's the Savage Uruks. And then the other one is on the other objective. So they're going to be holding the flanks against this devastating center line. Big, thick, middle, penetrating thickness of green meat in the middle is what you're looking at. Then there are 10 Savage Uruk More Boys on the board. And then there is Rocky the Rogue Idol, as you can see over here, near all of the dancers, because they are going to make him hopefully fly, move double, maybe move triple, and smash into this deadly force of Iron Gutsman. What is Iron Gutsman rocking? Let's talk about this. Number 1, he's rocking a pair of brass balls so big, we don't know what to do with him. We've had to strap him to a computer, which is floating in water. It's the only way to keep him in any way comfortable with the size of those brass balls. Thank you. Thank you. I can't hear you, but yeah, they can't hear you. But thanks, appreciate it. Stuart Gutsman is rocking a Firebelly with a Frostlord on Stonehorn. Now he, or they, or it, depending on how you feel about wreathed monsters covered in fur, anger, and just hate. This isn't one, actually. This is a Thundertusk, the Stonehorn still to be deployed, with the Black Clatterhorn and the Frostfang. Then you've got the Huskard on Thundertusk, as I can see just there. He's a priest. He throws snowballs. He's -1 to hit in combat. He's full of cold enmity and fury, as you can see on his face there. And then you've got an Icebrow Hunter, and you've got 7 units. This is it. 7 units of Ice Fell Yetis. There they are deployed on the board. And then 2 units of Frost Sabers, 1 unit of 4, 1 unit of 2. And they are looking to do the business. And that's our matchup. Twitch chat, talk to me. Tell me how you feel about this match. So I know, Ron, are you on drugs today? No, I'm not. You can type exclamation mark in the list if you'd like to see the list. You can take exclamation mark event if you want to check out the event. And also, I just heard it through my ears, the dulcet tones of one of the TOs. I'm sure they'll be bringing me updates as the tournament progresses. Because don't forget, this is one of 4 scrimmages currently happening in this tournament in a knockout ladder series, looking to see who will be the winner of the Grandhammer Top 8 War in the Digital Realms finale. I think I got that right. That's 2021. Sorry. Let me know. Let me know who you guys think are going to win. So yeah, and we'll see what you guys. Let's talk about some of these units that we've seen on the board here, and what they may be able to do. Those Yetis probably like the stars of the show at the moment. So let's just have a quick look at their War Scroll. They move 9 inches. Don't forget though, they're going to be hungry. Ravenous is how they'll be. So they're going to get an extra 3-inch movement. So they're movement 12, which is really important. This unit can run and still charge. Because they are invigorated by blizzards. Although, let's be honest, this tabletop doesn't look very snowy. I wonder if that will have an effect on this match. This looks like a place far better built for the Bone Splitters. They have, look at this, they have some aloe vera in the center to keep them happy and to soothe all burns. And so the Yetis, I don't think, in the right environment to make use of some of their abilities, but we'll see. We shall see. Big Wardenhammer, nice. I hope you guys are getting out there and having a good time. Snow it won't. It will not snow. I hope Ogres win, but I think Big War will have it, says Big Dog 6. Well, let me talk about the Yetis. 3 attacks each, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, rend 1, 2 damage. So nice rend coming out of that army there. The Ogre Gluttons jealous of everything that a Yeti is. They've got 4 wounds each, but they've only got a 6-up save, so they'll literally die to anything. They compile in, don't forget, an additional 6 inches. And they can do it from outside of 6 inches. And then finally, they're -1 to be hit in melee, which is quite good because there isn't really much shooting coming out of the Big War Force. Now, don't forget, we've got Big War points to generate, and we are going to generate them super well. Big War points, if we get high enough, we're going to add +1 to our charges. We get high enough again, we're going to get a 6-up DPR. We get high enough again, we're going to get +1 to hit, and then we're going to get +1 to wound. And that's all generated from having a load of boys and rolling the dice to generate some war points. War Docs will give you some more war points as well. So he's really got the opportunity to generate a lot of war points from this army. This battle plan, I think, is going to be a tough one for the poor Ogre Moor tribes. And we've just heard deployment has been finished. That's right. Deployment has been finalized. Oh, but the first turn has been given away to the Yetis. Look. So the first turn. So the first turn, as you guys can see right here, it has been set up. So as we can see, the Uruk Warclans army have intentionally deployed further back. They've given the turn away. They've said, look, we're not going to get involved in this. Maybe they're just going to go for the big double, 1 into 2. They're going to move forward aggressively. But they can't make all of their army move super fast. They can definitely buff units to move faster, but not the whole army. So this kind of central block of rage isn't going to be threatening those Yetis anytime soon. So I feel like it's a bit of a stalemate. Potentially, the Stonehorn's going to run down and just clatter horn his way. Thanks, everyone. This unit of Boar Boys. Or Or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just push out really aggressively and look to grab the back of the board here. We're not sure. I'm very excited. What do points make? Prizes. That's correct, everyone. That is what they do. So yeah, I think some clever play straight off the bat from our man Wurzel. Wurzel, as you can see, he has planned ahead of time. He's given the turn away, and he's like, I'm not getting involved in this fight. So we've seen some buffs go off. We've seen +1 to wound go into this unit of Yetis. We've seen these Yetis on the bottom. Looks like they're getting involved in the fight. I wonder if we're going to get the Frostlord and Stonehorn as well. They've ran. Don't forget that they can run and charge though. Yeah. Yeah, run and charge. So they're going to be... Oh, and there we go. Big Clatterhorn. Big aggressive movements. Turn 1 from Iron Gutsman, looking to clear these objectives. I would say that these 2 units of Ball Boys actually fairly key. As you can see, another unit over here, because after that, he's only got a few units to hold objectives. He's got a lot of characters that can make it so that he can't burn objectives, but he doesn't have a lot of units. Like, he doesn't have an MSU style army. So taking out one flank of this also means this unit of Savage stickers is going to have to deal with the Frostlord Stonehorn. I honestly don't think they've got the output. I'm going to call it right now. I don't think that they have the output. Great question coming in from Warhammer Rob in the chat. Yeah, why are you on so early? That's all I can think. Yeah, basically. Table boss. My table boss today, by the way, is Matt. Intern Matt Farnsworth. Adam Mumford will be joining us at some point today if his Wi-Fi works. But unfortunately, the barn that he lives in lost Wi-Fi because the local Amish lads didn't wind it up. I don't know what the exact science is of being in Plymouth, but it's something like that. It's I'm not sure, but you know the south of England. So an aggressive move here from the Stonehorn. These Ball Boys, 2 wounds apiece. Oh, there might be 3. Do you know what? Let's go find out. Let's go find out if they are 3. No, they are 3 wounds apiece, but only a 6-up save. So they are going to get slapped back to high heaven by this Stonehorn right here, and then we've got nothing on this side though. So they move fast. They're 12-inch move. Don't forget that they're also going to be able to like move. They're very, very fast. They could get triple move coming out from the War Docks as well if they get the opportunity to, and they can get over here. But as you can see, these Yetis on this side, they've decided to pull back as far as possible to draw those Ball Boys out if they indeed try and get there. So really what we're looking at is a very aggressive centre. Looks like the centre is controlled and dominated by the Big War Force. They've got the control. They're definitely going to take this out. However, like being able to push into the flanks and punch the flanks is a really smart play, in my opinion, coming in from Stuart. We'll see whether or not these units of Savage Orcs go aggressively into the centre. If they are not able to take those centre objectives, they're kind of wasted. It's an important point as to whether or not it happened. Rob, quick question. Do you think it's possible to play Nurgle with Feculent Gnarlmaws? In your list? Skinny Boots? Yeah, 100%, man. You should put one in your list every time anyway, if that helps you out. Oh, without Feculent Gnarlmaws? No. I would always put a Feculent Gnarlmaw in my army because run and charge is amazing. So if I was a Nurgle player, I'd pick up 2 Feculent Gnarlmaws if that makes you feel any better. That's definitely how I would be playing it. So those Yetis, not able to take much of a punch. They're quite an expensive part of Iron Gutsman's army as well. So it's going to be really important, really important to keep them alive. So I think he's going to be measuring those threat ranges. And as you can see, he's sitting behind that Thunder Tusk. I guess the real problem, as we're looking at it, is those units of Savage Uruks. They're 2 wounds each. So while we've got 4 wounds each on these Yetis on a 6-up save, this here is 120 wounds of Savage Uruks. As we talked about before on the show in different events and different matches, there is a DPS check occurring here. There is a big DPS check occurring in this match, and really, you got to ask yourself, can he do the damage out of those Yetis? Now, this is where the command ability comes in from the Thunder Tusk. Well, not from the Thunder Tusk, from any of the characters, because he's playing in Winterbite. Those Yetis, if they're wholly within 12 inches of a character, and as you can see, sat on a command point, and sat wholly within 12 inches of this Thunder Tusk, and sat on a command point, we are going to see always strikes first on all of those Yetis. So setting him up, and with a big 6-inch piling. Big 6-inch piling. So he'll be able to do a load of damage there. So I think that's going to be really important to see that happen. For what? Reroll charge. Okay, so we've just had a charge come in from the Frostlord and Stonehorn. He failed the charge, so he re-rolled it using his last CP. So already we're a CP down. There are 3 pieces of CP already. And he's already done 3 mortal wounds on the charge, 4 mortal wounds on the charge. And then he's already got the damage to come as well. Wonder if we'll see these Yetis pile in as well? Not sure. Hey Marte, hello everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us live. I'm just going to take a sip of water because this is going to be a long 3 hours. Thankfully, I think Iron Gutsman is going to smash it fast. This is a fast first turn. This is very, very impressive. Oh, so the Yetis are piling in and attacking first. So here we see they're going to look to do all that output. I wonder if I wouldn't have just gone with the Frostlord and Stonehorn. Not forgetting those Yetis have just piled into combat. They haven't even charged. They don't need to. They can just pile in 6 inches. So yeah, that's going to be really good. This unit of Savage Boar Boys is 100% gonna die. So I guess the return is we need to ask ourselves, what can we see happen come out of the Bone Splitter's force in terms of damage? Well, Savage Orcs, they move 5 inches, and there's a bunch of ways that we can buff this. But they think that they're all armed with chompers. Let me just double check for everyone in the chat. No, they've got stickers. So they've got 2 attacks each that hit on 4s, wound on 4s, no render damage 1. However, they're going to, because they're over a block of 15, they're going to have 3 attacks each. So that's 90 attacks coming out of that block, which is pretty impressive. And they've also got a 5-up save in combat. So pretty deadly. Pretty deadly. Now, you can get exploding 6s on these guys. I think you can turn that exploding 5s. So you're going to see some... you're going to see a lot of dice rolls, and that's okay because there isn't an armor save on the Yetis at all. However, what's going to be really tough, is that they hit on 4s. The Yetis are -1 to hit in combat. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Savage Big Boss, I'm pretty certain, can give a +1 to hit. Oh, I feel that's right. Twitch chat, apologies. It's very early. Let's go do some quick math. Did they take any of the bonus things versus monsters? Thanks, Lakekin. We'll ask our table boss to update us as to whether or not he's taken any there. That's going to be important. And they are not as deadly as ever. They're going to be. There's a lot of attacks basically, and that's really good for the Savage Uruks, because they are going to be, with even at -1 to hit, they're going to be giving the Yetis a lot of dice, and the Yetis only have a 6-up save. That's what's really, really important. They've only got that 6-up save, so they're going to be doing really well in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see, Twitch chat. Why aren't the new Crimson Court War Scroll on the Games Workshop website? I want to get excited for the new Soulblight War. Thank you very much. I don't know why they haven't got them on the website, if I'm honest with you, Warhammer Rob. I hope that they do. Here cheering for my boy Stuart, running the best army of all time. Yeah, you got this. So yeah, I'm not sure why they haven't. It's a bit of a shame. But there we go. Look at that. Clever play there by Stuart. As you can see, he's intentionally dragged in this unit of Savage Uruks by piling in there. That's what he's done. So he cleared a bit of room with the Yetis, intentionally took out a couple more Boar Boys so that he had the room to pile around with the Frostlord and then bring in this unit of Savage Uruks, which is really smart. So yes, they'll be able to pile in and do a couple of attacks, but they'll be neutered a little bit. So they're either going to have to run away in the turn, but they're not going to be aggressive and move forward into this block of Yetis. Really meaning that Stuart might be able to pull this unit of 30 Savage Uruks up at the same time as putting this unit of 30 Savage Uruks against his Frostlord. And to be honest, Frostlord maybe wins that. The Frostlord maybe wins that fight over time. It's very impressive, the amount of output, and I'm not certain the Savage Uruks will be able to do enough damage, especially slowly piling in like this. They're going to need to pile out of combat, and they're going to need to they're going to need to charge back in. Not that they're going to be able to do this turn. Which means he keeps his back two objectives, which are pretty much undefended, safe, while threatening your opponent's objectives. So I think there's a lot to be said in Age of Sigmar for playing a very aggressive playstyle. It means your opponent is having to push and defend off your objectives, and the battle is happening around your area as opposed to your opponent's area. And obviously there being no teleports in this army, both armies having to play what I like to call Warhammer, are no flying around the board just willy-nilly without any defense. James Powell, if you're in the chat, you fancy joining me for a while, Adam's internet broke and you want to join me for 30 minutes, feel free. But if you don't, that's super okay too. And I'll walk you through the game. But yeah, in general, the Yetis are huge, big brain armies. Okay, perfect. Right, okay, as you can see here. Oh, wait, have we seen all of the damage? Matt, I think we've seen all of the damage. Wow, so not only has the pile-in here brought in the unit of Savage Uruks, he's also been able to bring his 2-inch weapons into range of the Savage Uruks, and as you can see, he has done a significant amount of damage. He's killed 6 of them, which is 12 wounds coming out of the Frostlord and Stonehorn. So he's already started to chip away at this unit, which is really good. Taking them to 24, so they're going to start reducing down. And he's just killed another 2. Really good. So that's 8. 8 of the 30 already gone. That's 16 damage. 16 wounds, actually, done against those. So, yeah, Tavigain, I agree with that point, but I won't say it out loud in case I'm overheard. Probably as a comment. I don't think they can hear me. It's fine. Yes, probably removing the model so that he is out, so that he's not in combat would have been the right play. So these at the front, as you guys can see here, probably what I would have removed, so that then I could have got a more complete charge next turn. I think would have been a better play. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Don't forget, Wurzel's got here 3-0 with this list. Of course, we're all rooting for the Gutsman, but we're also rooting for Wurzel as well. He taken a Big War list, which is pretty untraditional Big War list. Normally you'll see 30 Savage Uruk boys, but you don't often see 2 blocks of 60. You definitely rarely see a big Rocky stuck in. Not rarely. You saw them at one point, but I don't think you see them as much. You see a big, and this is a big piece to talk about. A big piece here, the big rock monster. He is potentially going to fly across the board and threaten all of these Yetis. A big missile ready to go. So yeah, I don't think he's going to have the damage. Coral Dawn, the pile-in and damage that I think he's going to do here would pale in significance to having taken those units out and getting a more complete charge next turn, and then swamping the Frostlord and Stonehorn would have been my preference, personally. But we'll see. So the Frostlord has taken 1 damage. Rogue Idol synergizes so well. Rogue Idol does synergize so well. So yeah. So 1 damage done. 1 damage done on the Frostlord. And then, so a command point has also been spent, so of the 3, so I'll just update that there for you guys. Sorry, I'm just doing a couple of jobs at once. Gents. Big War. So he's got 2 CP left. ball. One ball boy has run away from Bravery, leaving us one ball boy. Not forgetting one ball boy in a previous match a few weeks ago kept the game alive. We wanted him to live. If this Savage ball boy now could just run into this corner and live for the rest of the game, that's what we're hoping for. Not forgetting, so the Yetis and also the Frosthorn Stonehorn, they're going to count for more, so 10 models, and these guys are going to count for 2 apiece. So he's currently sat on 16 models on that objective. So actually, again, having had that unit make it so that it can make a charge would have been useful, because he could have charged in and swamped this objective. Would have been the right call. So we're into Big War, turn 1. 5 victory points set up right now. 5 victory points set up for the Ogres. First turn, they're running Winterbite. You can find out the list if you type !lists in the chat. But he gets more attacks by just not fighting. Thanks, Tavi Game, for explaining. Right, so we're up to 12. We're already up to 12 war points already, which is going to start topping up that meter. I think that gets us +1 to wound straight off the bat. I think. Let's go find out. I'm pretty certain that gets us +1 to wound. Let's go. Where is our chart? Quick reference, everyone, for every rule in the game. If anyone wants to holler at me, then yes. No, roller time. So no, it's a 6-up DPR. 6-up DPR at 12. At 20, we get our +1 to wound, which is really important. So there we go. Thanks, Prop Joe. Big love to you, and hope you well. So yeah, this is just the worst commentating on your own. I'd like everyone to know. And I won't be doing it all day. People will be joining me later. Adam's internet broke today, so he wasn't able to do it. So, yeah. Did you manage to snag a Cursed City? No. I was in no way ever going to buy it. I'm never going to buy a £125 board game. What the fuck do I look like? Like, never in 1,000 years would I buy that. Are you commentating with us, the people, the crew? Thanks, Tavi. Love you. Love you all, thanks. Right, so the walk here he is. So we've got +1 damage stuck onto our war chant, a +1 save stuck onto our Savage Oryx. Now this is really important. Now the Savage Oryx with +1 save, they get an additional +1 save. Do you know what, guys? I'm just going to take a moment just to bring in my co-commentator, and then I'll be back. So you'll just be on a holding screen for a small moment. And then we'll be back into this game ASAP.
The orcs are moving. Let's get talk about it.
Let's bring it back. Welcome back, everyone, to round one of the Grandhammer Top 8. That's right, Top 8 Knockout Tournament to see who is the greatest mortal realm, digital realm warrior. I'm joined by my co-host, James.
Morning,
James,
good morning.
welcome to the show. Good morning. So, James, to catch you and everyone who's just joined us back, what has happened in the first turn? We have this Winterbite force of 7 units of 3 Yetis, a Stonehorn, and a Thundertusk versus a Big War Uruks War Clan list with, as you can see, a Rogue Idol, 2 blocks of 30 Savage Uruks, and some Ball Boys, and then a cast of characters. The lists are available if you type !lists. In the first turn, the Big War army gave the turn away to the Uruk War Clan's army, and we saw the reposition of these Yetis around the Thundertusk, who have a command ability for Strike Last, but no longer sat on a CP. Pretty clutch moment in turn 1, because we had the Stonehorn, as you can see down here, and the Yetis make a big move. Now, the Yetis, don't forget, they've got run and charge, and they piled in, attacked this unit of Savage Boar Boys, which gave the Frost Lord, who had to use the command point to reroll charges, in here. Clever little pile-in meant he put all of his damage into the Savage Uruks. He lost 10 of them. He lost 8 of them, and then he had to use the CP to keep him safe. Now we're seeing the Savage Uruks here. As you can see, they're still locked in combat. We weren't sure whether or not they should have taken the damage units from the front and gone for a charge, but they didn't, and now they're still locked in that fight. We have another unit of Savage Uruk More Boys. They're coming around the side here. We're into the movement phase. So that's everything that happened in turn 1. 5 points and some big threats. However, James, I know you're thinking, what the hell are the Uruks going to do? Well, there's this big brick of 30 Savage Uruks in the center with 60 wounds. And then there is Rocky, the Rogue Idol. Now, what you really want to do, James, I know this is going to sound weird. If you see a rock monster, you're going to want to do a dance near him. Yeah?
Those little dancing lads that you never see anymore.
You're going to want to dance, and when you dance, you make him fly. The rock monster becomes so happy that you've danced that you fly. And
Defies all gravity.
And then he flies and he moves very, very fast. So fast. However, unfortunately, 2 left feet on this war dock. He tripped over himself, and he looks like Pask dancing, is what he looks like. Which Pascal will be able to tell me what that's like, but not sure. So he wasn't able to get that off, which is basically what you do is you buff up the Rogue Idol. As you can see here, he's got +1 save, reroll saves, and then he would dash forward. But that's not happened, right? You'd throw him forward like a missile. So that hasn't happened this turn, so he's been kept back. And then we've got the reroll saves, reroll 1's Mystic Shield, +1 save, also on the Savage Uruks here. So those guys are looking to hit into those Yetis. So that would have been a terrible 1-2 into that kind of castle at the back, but that hasn't happened. So a little bit more of a defensive play now, which really sets up the priority roll, because we've got a big turn. If the priority roll goes off and goes to our Uruk War Clans, oh God, I'm getting them confused. No, Uruk War Clans is right.
Naked Orcs.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he goes in. Now, James, just a quick one while we're waiting to see how this movement progresses. Am I correct in thinking you're now known as James Bloodthirster Powell?
No, I'm not. But they did do me a solid. They did do me a solid.
They did do you a solid. Thank you to Lord Wilco for resubscribing. Big love to you. Thanks for everyone for joining us. They wouldn't have the range to run and charge, given the Thundertusk is too far away, so they can pile 6 inches. Yep, watch this makes me miss playing a lot, says Lakin. Yeah, baby. Me too. Wow, okay. So we just heard that the Moor boys here, they have made an 11-inch charge. Our single pig has run out of combat there. Our boar boy, he's kept himself safe. I know, James. It's going to be sad. We'll see.
Less bacon.
Far less bacon. Now, this charge, I don't know about you guys. James, just looking at this combat in the bottom left-hand corner and where the Stonehorn is the bottom left-hand corner for me, just FYI, for your orientation of the board. If I was running the Stonehorn, I'd be smashing into that unit of Moor boys if I was 100% honest. I'd just take them out of the picture. And then keep going through into the Savage Oryx. I don't know about you, but that's kind of my tactic. What do you think? What would you go for?
Well, I think especially at the minute, like he wants to try and hold that objective back, doesn't he? Or take that objective back. And if he loses that, is it 10? 3, 6.
Well, so he's currently got 16, right? Because 2 for each Yeti. Yeah. And then 10.
Sorry. I mean, so those Moor boys, unless they take those Yetis out, he hasn't got enough of the other ones on the point, and they're only going to pile in 3. He's going to get very little bodies on the point. Oh,
actually, it's only 1 for each Yeti. Thank you very much. That's because Games Workshop, as we know, are Yeti racists.
Okay.
There's been a lot. Abominable Snowman, generally like not quite as popular in kind of modern culture as their forest folk. The Bigfoot. James, I'm not sure where. I'm not really sure where you stand on the kind of Bigfoot Yeti divide. I've always been for Yeti rights, and I'm happy to see them on the tabletop here. What about you?
Yeah, they're ugly models though.
Wow, you are not going to get a lot of love in the chat for that comment. Let me tell you, you have come in bold at not even 9 o'clock in the morning yet. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
I'll wait for the grief. They made me play corn. They get no jam sandwiches from me.
So we just heard from our table boss something which I missed, so we'll ask him to reiterate it. But the book. Okay, so yeah, all of these attacks are going into the Yetis. Now, James, unfortunately, they only got 6-up save, but because of the power of winter, they are -1 to hit in close combat. So we'll see whether or not that keeps them alive.
They're also disappearing.
Well, only 1. He's at 5 wounds. 5 wounds only, James. So we're laughing there in that situation. Really happy with that, right?
That's not great, right? Not great.
No.
Not great if you're an orc.
Out of 28 attacks. But see, the problem is that they're hitting on 4s. They are hitting on 4s is the major concern. And so with that -1 to hit aura, now they're hitting on 5s. So there's 28 attacks. It's already not very good. And so now this is the big question. What is the Yeti's hit back? Interesting. He didn't go with the Stonehorn. I would have thought he'd have gone with the Stonehorn first.
Yeah, so now he's
going. Oh, wait, but he can't. He can't go with the Stonehorn. Apologies, everyone, because I was informed by a table boss, but I neglected to tell you, is that the Stonehorn has got Fight Last on it. That's what he's got. Stonehorn, as you can see, Fight Last on him. So he's not going to be able to pile in attack into the Moor boys. Although, to be fair, I don't think he minds, because those Moor boys took a bit of a kicking from those 2 Yetis. And I think the Yetis and the Stonehorn maybe win this fight. I don't know. We'll have to see how the Savage Oryx are doing right now. They've got more attacks now. So they've got big stickers, James. So they've got 2-inch range. So they can bring a lot. And they are narratively obsessed with murdering Stonehorns, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of food there.
There is a lot of food there. They're very hungry.
It's breakfast time. These orcs got up early to do some crumping.
Yeah, they did.
That's the right word, isn't it? That's an orc word.
Or crumping?
Crumping.
Crumping. More of a 40k thing, but it'll do. We'll take it. We'll take it.
There's an army I've never played in a game I barely play, but I still know their words.
It's famous, right?
I think you say it all the time.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said it. But that's because I'm pro Yeti, unlike you damn Yeti racist.
That's me.
That's what we've decided.
Down with them
show.
Yetis.
Down with Yetis. Are you against all of the snow folk that we're seeing here?
No, I actually still think like the Beast Claw Raider models are probably some of the nicest in the ogre range.
Oh, they're so good. They're so
And like
awesome.
all of them is I just think like when I look at them, I think those Yetis now are just such old models that like the More Tribe models still look great and the Yetis just look dated. Probably is the worst part, I think, for me.
Oh, I don't know. They look glorious. Time
So,
has passed. I can't wait for some updated Yetis. That's all I'm saying. More of
oh,
that in the future.
I thought you'd actually rolled those dice with a roll. Then I was gonna cry.
So yeah, here are all the attacks going into our Frostlord on Stonehorn right now. Now, what's going to be really important is he's got a 3-up save. So we'll see how many saves. He's taken 2 wounds already. So out of 37 attacks, James, 1 wound on this
Nice.
Frostlord on Stonehorn. Oh goodness me! Get ready for the. This is what we do now. We call it the clapback. That's what we're getting, James. Yeah, like a beauty guru chatter. A bit of a clapback is exactly what we need, and we're going to see all these Savage Urets take a bit of a kicking.
And die.
Well, not all of them. He only killed 8 last time.
Okay.
But another 8 would be pretty prodigious. That's 16, so he'll have reduced the unit down to half. And most importantly, he's losing this fight on the flank. Because if that carries on, the Yetis and the Stonehorn win this whole flank, which puts us in a really interesting position over here for what happens. Does he kind of just abandon the flank and then just hammer forward with this other unit of Savage Urks and Rocky? Or are we going to see priority roll go to the Ogre and more tribes and see all these Yetis with Always Strike First command ability smash into this block of Savage Urks and take them out? 60 wounds though, James. What do you think?
I mean, it's it's a lot of attacks though, right, from those Yetis, and then they're -1 to hit back.
It's 3 attacks each. Is the important point. 4s, 3s, rend 1, but it's 2 damage apiece. But the important part is with the command ability coming out of the Thunder Tusk, he's going to be able to make them all fight at the same time.
Nice.
So if he makes like 5 of them fight, that's going to be 45 attacks going into that unit, and they've got a 6-inch pile-in. So even if you try and wow, so the Stonehorn done another 13 damage, James, taking out another 6.5 Uruks. That takes the Stonehorn's tally up already to 14 of that Savage Uruks unit. And this just doesn't make any sense narratively. These fellas are designed that their entire shtick is to hunt monsters, James. This is all they do. They're bone splitters. Look at this guy. Livid.
Do you know what, though?
What?
They should have hunted a smaller monster, like a squig. They'd have done better.
100%. So, Winterbite, unless I've got this wrong, is -1 to hit if he's in his territory. So we're into the battle shot phase now. So the Yetis rolled a 6, and we lost a Yeti to cowardice, James. Oh no!
They're not very brave, are they? For Yetis that hide, I guess they hide from people all year round. That's what they do, right?
Plus, also look at the environment. He's got to be warm. He's probably just run off. He's probably just run off to go and have a bit of a rest. If I'm honest,
getting that pool of water behind.
That's true. That's super true. So just to keep you guys updated and make sure the stuff is all right. We're at 15 war points is where we currently are. So that's an important thing to note in the army. We're sat on 3 command points as well. Well, we're back to 2 command points now. So the stickers again taking another command point to stay alive. And they're just getting worse and worse at this point, James. They're going to lose an attack soon. Unless they've got 15. So what did they lose? They lost 6 and 8. Oh, I don't think they have.
I think they're just 15, are they?
Yeah. So they've still got +1 attack. We're into the priority roll, though. It's a draw.
14.
It's a draw, which means it goes to, I'm pretty certain, we'll get this updated, Ogre more tribes. This is pivotal. Either way, whoever More tribes have won it, James, and they've taken it. I mean, whoever won that, it was going to be huge. This unit of Savage Oryx and, of course, the big rock monster were going to go into the Yetis and the Thunder Tusk. That -1 to hit for Winterbite only affects shooting, just for everyone at home who's keeping track. So, some pretty punishing damage potentially going into the Yetis there. That's not happening now, which means we're going to get to see the charge of the Yetis. James, I know you're livid, James, because you are a Yeti racist. I know you're furious at this outcome. Yeah? But how do you feel?
I'm interested to see how much damage the Yetis do. I think more than anything. Like, I think realistically, it's not... Like, you don't see this many Yetis on a table normally. Probably mostly because they're an astronomically priced set of 3 models.
I would agree with that. And I think your earlier point, if we're really honest, is they are fugly. Like, you don't...
Yeah. Well, also they're Finecast, which is like the worst invention Games Workshop ever made, I think.
Yeah, potentially. It might be the worst invention in the world.
Maybe. No, I don't think there's probably worse things.
Potentially, but I'm not sure.
We can check Reddit later.
Yeah, we'll check Reddit later for the worst things in the world.
Yeah.
Now, the command ability that we're talking about, which is really important, comes from being in the Winterfight sub-faction, and that is the Howl of the Wild. You can use this command ability at the start of the combat phase, so that's important to note for when we see these units move around. If you do so, you pick one friendly Winterbite hero, which is probably going to be that Thunder Tusk that we see at the top there. When friendly Winterbite, Frostbite, Icefall Yetis, wholly within 12 inches of that Winterbite hero, can fight at the start of the combat phase before anyone else. It's going to be really good. Right, so, yeah, here we go.
So he's got to get them all in. So how far does a Yeti move? Oh, but they can run and charge.
Well, so yeah, and also don't forget. Oh no, actually, I don't know if they get an extra move from being hungry. But the flat 8 or 9 inches. That is the real question. I knew. I've already said it out loud today, James. That's the key point. They are flat 9 inches with run and charge. And don't forget, though, I'm pretty certain that they still get to benefit from the fact that they're hungry. So they're outside of 3 inches from the enemy. So an additional plus 3 inches their move, plus run and charge, James. So
nice.
12 inches plus run and charge, and they can pile in from 6 inches. Like, wow. So 12 inches movement, plus run and charge, plus a 6-inch bonus. Nice. They don't.
Yeah, so I mean, they're all getting in, was kind of my point.
They don't get the bonus move. I've changed my mind. They only get the 9-inch and a run and charge. That's the answer. So there we go. But we're going to see all these Yetis move forward. And then, James, when they get there, 3 attacks each, 4s, 3s, rend 1, doing 2 damage. Now, this unit of Savage Auric Ball Boys, as you can see, not Ball Boys, sorry, just Savage Auric Boys, as you can see here, they are stacked up with saves now. So they get +1 save in close combat, so that's a 5-up save on their 6-up base. And they've been given +1 save. I'm not sure if they've been given +2 save, or double check from our table boss if it's a... Wow, so they've been given +2 save, James. So they're currently on a 3-up, re-rolling 1s armor save here. So
they're having a good day out.
Really good day. 3-up, re-rolling 1s. Now, there is rend 1 coming out of the Yeti, so it's going to be a 4-up re-rollable save. But that's 60 wounds on a 4-up re-rollable save. Wonder if they're going to do enough. Wonder if they're going to do enough damage. I don't think they will, if I'm honest. I'm sorely tempted to maybe just hit everything else. But probably taking that unit down is going to be quite key. Unfortunately, the rock monster, when he fights back, that's going to be pretty devastating, right? He's going to do a ton of damage from the Rogue Idol. Not forgetting that, of course, he's in Big War, and they're already sat at 15 War points. So once they get higher, they're going to have +1 to hit and +1 to wound. The Rogue Idol has got 2 attacks that do d6 damage, James, and then he's got 10 stomping feet attacks, which do 2 damage. And there is no armor save. Well, there's a 6-up armor save on the Yetis. But they're naturally -1 to hit, so we'll see. He's only thrown in 1 unit of Yetis.
Yeah, I don't think we're about to see a charge of the Yetis. They've all walked backwards.
Oh my God, nightmarish. So I think what we're seeing here, if I've got this right, so have we seen the spellcast Billowing Ash from our wizard? We'll find out from our Firebelly. Again, something you never see. Another Finecast model. Okay. Wow. So we've seen Billowing Ash cast, James, by the Firebelly. This is really important because what that does is it makes a aura of -1 to hit. Hello?
Hello. Yeah, Big Bubble. I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Oh,
sorry, I got distracted by this very competitive Sabertusk placement. Where he's like, just got their booties on the point.
So yeah, there we go. What with the hunter who's come off the board? So we've had a pocket hunter and 4 Sabertusks off the board, looking to charge in, looking to grab this fight. And look, there you can see they're just sneaked on the objective. There's only 3 there. Oh baby! So grabbing another objective off him. Now, what's important here is this turn, the Frostlord on Stonehorn might be able to burn this objective. Off of the over here, because we're playing Scorched Earth. So if he does burn this objective, and indeed if he burns this other objective on the right, that's really going to hamper the ability for Wurzel to score in this situation. James, what are you thinking? I did say at the top of the show, I think it's all about the flanks. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good, is it? I mean, I still think it's weird that he's tanked up around his billowing smoke. I'd have just been throwing those Yetis out all day long, because then he could have just hampered this unit in the middle, forced Rocky to fight in that center, taken the 2 flank, and then worked his way in. Like, he could have controlled the board better, I think. But I mean, he's got good control. I just think that if this roll goes badly for his Yetis, these Savage Orcs and Rocky are just going to punch out, and he's just got so few models. Like
yeah, it's just a race against time, isn't it? Because really, with the Yetis, what he's going to do is he's going to pile in, clip the edge, make it so that he can't pile in. If anyone is interested to how you're going to see the Kangaroo army play in the future, it will be like what we're about to see, only you won't be able to hit them back, right? So we're just seeing mortal wounds now come in from the snowballs from the Yeti. So 12 dice, roll it for a unit within 18 inches, 12 dice, and for every 4+, because he's got 10 or more models, he's going to take a mortal wound, and he's just on the average there, 6 mortal wounds, which is pretty devastating. You can obviously run loads of Thunder Tusks and do, I think, what we call the snowball list. It's pretty devastating, James. I don't know if you've been on the receiving end of the snowball list yet.
I've never been on the receiving end, actually, but one of the team tournaments, we had it in our team, and it did generally terrible for the whole event. And then it played a old book Slaanesh. So pre the disgusting book Slaanesh, and I don't think they got 1 model in combat.
Wow, yeah, it's really competent. So here you see the piling. Now, this is some big tech here, James. So the Yetis are piling in 6 inches, right?
Yeah.
Right, but they can pile in from outside of 6 inches. But unlike a charge where you have to end up within half an inch, or an inch, sorry, within an inch. As you can see here, he's not having to because he only has to pile in because he can pile in from outside of 6. So you've got a 2.9 inch gap. So each one of these models, if it does want to pile in, it has to pile in towards the closest model, which is all going to be in this direction. So what he's doing is basically dragging this unit, but you can do almost no damage. It's a really good indication of exactly what you're going to see the wind chargers for Lumineth going to do. Because all they're going to do is charge in, and then they're going to pile out to 2.9 inches. So effectively creating the same result. And then you're just going to pin whole units in. So this unit now can either retreat, well, it can pile in a bit now and try and do some damage, or it can kind of stay where it is. But either way, next turn, what it's not doing, it's not moving towards the back of the board. And what Stuart can do if he gets the next priority roll, is he could do the same thing again. Next unit of 3 Yetis, hold up the brick one more time.
Basically he's just controlling that unit then, isn't he? That's basically what he's aiming for.
Yeah, 100%. He's just controlling it. Now there is going to be some will get in, like he's trying to make it so, but it's going to be as few as possible, which is what Stuart's looking to do there. And again, they're all spec'd out to make saves. They're not really spec'd out to do damage. So they're not going to do tons of work. It does get them a little bit of movement towards the opponent, but I think Stuart's kind of like hoping that he gets the priority roll again, because these guys are just piling forward. They're not doing anything else. They've done nothing to stop the Rock Monster, though. The Rock Monster can go forward, play some Queen anthems, and literally rock the stadium. That's what we're going to see.
Is that what he's going to do?
Oh, he could do.
Why do you think he's a Queen fan?
Well, because he's a champion.
Okay, fair. That was a good answer. Well done. I'm impressed. It's only 9:15. Round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining in. It's been a pleasure. So, we just found out there was only 9 attacks coming out of this unit. Only 9 attacks into the Yetis, unable to do any damage into the Yeti. Or 1 wound. 1 wound into the Yeti. Now look at this cheeky 6-inch piling. Again, this unit that's of 1 Yeti who retreated, James.
Yep, like a coward.
Still gets to pile in, because it's
nice.
the good 6-inch piling, right? Which is so he's going to get to pile in. He's just looking to take out as many of those more boys as possible. So that the Stonehorn can again smash into this unit of Savage Uruks. And if he does, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him burn this objective this turn. Specifically because if he waits 1 more turn, the Duke, this War Doc down here, who's a character, will be able to come and stop him from burning the objective. Also, he's going to score a bonus point for burning it with a hero within 6 inches, which of course this Frostlord is. So he's going to get 3 points for burning this objective this turn, and he'll also gain another 2 points for burning that objective, not including the four objectives he's got at the back of the board. So he's going to be sat on 4, 7, 9 points this turn, taking him up to 14 points. Versus 3, with only 2 objectives left. For Wurzel to hold on to. So it's going to be pretty important. Now we saw 2 more boys go down. The Yeti. One more boy go down, and the Yeti has smashed. Is probably going to die this turn, if I'm honest, James. I don't know. What do you think? I know you hate Yetis.
Stop making me the villain.
I'm not making you the villain. You just made
it quite
like
clear. Twitch chat,
Twitch chat, back me up. Did he not say that he hates Yetis?
Stop using the chat against me. It's Saturday morning. It's like breakfast telly. We're like Soccer AM or something I never watched.
Are we Davina and... Not Davina, because she's awful.
What did I used to watch? Live and Kicking?
No, the other guys on Channel 4, they're coming back.
Oh, God knows.
Yeah, anyway. Those guys. Big Breakfast. That's us. Big Breakfast.
Zoe Ball and someone. Can't remember the other person. There we go. You can be Zoe Ball.
All right, perfect. I'll take
You're the prettier one.
The Twitch chat is saying you made yourself the villain.
Okay.
Tabby Game thinks I don't think the Stonehorn will be able to take the objective. Don't forget the Stonehorn counts as 10 models. So we've currently got 4 from the More Boys. So we've got 11 currently right now for the Ogres. So 11, and there's 4 with the More Boys, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 9.
6, I think. I think there's only 6 of the Savage Orc boys on there, because I think those top 2 are.
Thanks, lads. Yeah, I'll be your Johnny Vaughan any day. Twitch chat. Also, but a great shout from Plymouth Trollslayers here. Of course, he's going to score an additional point, James, to the points tally I was talking about before, because the Icebrow Hunter is a character, as you can see here, when he goes and grabs this objective.
Nice, yeah.
So a big scoring turn, huge. This is, I think they call this a pincer movement. Is this quite? I think this happened in Verdun. I'm not quite certain on my military history, but I'm going to claim it. And also the Battle of Versailles, if that happened. I'm going to just start randomly claiming different battles.
That dice roll. These orcs.
Oh, did they do badly?
Just watching like 50 dice turn into like 4 dice is
So he's taken one more wound. So I'd just like to point out this Frostlord and Stonehorn been engaged in combat now for 3 rounds of combat with 30 of these Savage Sticker Boys, taken a total of 4 damage over those 3 rounds of combat. In return, he so far has killed 15 in response, and he hasn't swung back this turn. So we'll see. That 15, by the way, equaling 30 damage. So he's going to do his damage now, and we'll see if he goes. But who would you have thought that, James? 30 Savage Boar Boys versus 1 Frostlord?
Do you know what? I can't remember the last time I saw Savage Boys.
Yes, they're a bit lackluster, which is unfortunately. It's ants trying to strangle an elephant. That's basically what we're seeing here. An enraged elephant is what we're seeing. Absolutely. So far he's already done 12 damage. We just heard from our table boss. Already done a significant wedge. That's 6 more have gone down. But we'll see what the grand total is. Just so many good attacks. Such a fun army to play with the ogres. They've really turned me around over the past couple of years since the book came out. Wow. So he's killed 13 damage. He's done. So he's killed another 7.
Jeez. And then they're going to have to be another command point, aren't they, to even stay there?
It is. Yeah, so he's killed another 7, which totals... so he did 8 in the first turn on the charge, then he did 6, and then he did 7, or 6.5, and then 7, or 6.5 again, really. So it's been pretty consistent, the output, even taking those wounds, but he definitely is winning this fight. The real question is whether or not he's got enough bodies on the board, so he's got one...
I think it's 11 to 11.
Oh, so a command point on the Savage Oryx. 11 to 11 means he's not going to take that objective. So he would have loved to have killed just
depends if any of these lads run away, I guess.
Oh, yeah, of course. I don't know if the more boys are going to potentially run. We'll see.
What's their bravery?
I think they've passed it because we're through. So yeah, no, he hasn't taken it. He hasn't taken the objective. Did he take it in the first turn, though? Yeah. So he's
just needed one more to die.
So he's actually in control of it because he took control of it on turn 1. That's what happened. So he took control of it on turn 1. He still controls the objective. He still owns the objective, but he's decided not to burn it this turn.
I mean, then it's very unlikely they're getting through that Stonehorn, right?
Super unlikely. Has he burnt? But he has burnt the objective on the other side, as you can see. So the objective on the other side has been burnt, and that has taken him up to 13.
13-3. Turn 2.
13-3. With some big plays, because he really has to decide what to do, because he knows, so Wurzel knows he's losing this fight on this far hand objective. Like, this turn, the Frostlord is going to punch through the rest of those Savage Uruks and swing the balance back.
It's interesting, though, isn't it? Because he retreated this Boar Boy off the objective, and if he'd left him on the objective...
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
He'd have taken control.
Yeah, if he'd have left that one Boar Boy on the objective, he would have taken control. It's a really good point, James. Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself a little bit about that play. Now, these Boar Boys here, a little bit useless, but they kind of have to engage with the Frost Sabers or do something. Otherwise, those Frost Sabers are going to start threatening characters at the back of the board, generally causing a nuisance as well. These little pocket units are so good. Just like whether they be Shadow Stonkers, whether they be like any sort of... Yeah, any of your Chameleon Skinks, great example. These little units that just go around and grab objectives, they're so useful, so much utility, and they work so well in this battle plan. That's why I like it. But honestly, if you were Wurzel, James, bit of top down, how are you gonna approach this? How are you gonna skin this particular Yeti that you hate?
Cry. I mean, he's in trouble now, isn't he? Because this big unit that we thought was going to pressure the middle is basically just going to pile in 3 towards some Yetis. He's got this giant stone lad who might be able to fly this turn, but even then he's going to kill 3 Yetis.
He is going to kill 3 Yetis. Now, don't forget, he's in this position because he gave the turn away. He allowed this to happen.
So because he gave first turn away.
Yeah. He gave the first turn away. He had the choice, so he decided to give the turn away. I think so that all of the Yetis couldn't go and smash. And I think what Stuart did was he used the threat of that center brick of all the Yetis going in together. Stonehorn was one of the last units deployed, actually. So everyone deployed piecemeal, bit by bit. With the very last deployment being that big Stonehorn deployed on the far top left-hand corner, as you guys are looking at it now. And then that deployment, I think, was quite clever because really it just allowed him to punch into one of the flanks. And then having the Frost Sabers and the Hunter off the board and then coming on to grab the other objectives. So I tend to play Scorched Earth in a very different way to how we're seeing it played here, where it's played strong in the middle and then you play around with the flanks. I normally go heavy defensive on a flank is kind of my main tactic, and then try to push forward. That way you kind of like, you're not really like threatened by this kind of like flanking move on both sides, but only on the one side, because those castle builds are fairly susceptible because they want to play in one way. So if you imagine if you took this whole battle plan that you're looking at and you just kind of sidestepped it to the left, you took all of your savage boys and you just put them over onto the left-hand two objectives, then you've got a really solid line that you can push up into your opponent's territory, and then the rock monster can kind of defend everything on the far right-hand side, so the kind of center-right and far-right objectives. And that's a kind of a more strategic way, in my opinion, of playing Scorched Earth. That's how I generally tend to play it. Depends on who you're up against and what army you're playing with, but it means that you're not like leaving yourself open on two stages, which is what we've seen here.
Well, yeah, and I think the problem is, isn't it, like when you're like both of their giant, well, I mean, lots of orcs died on that left flank, but when you're looking at all those orcs in the center who are now tied into a fight with three Yetis that they've only compiled into, I think that's a problem in its right. And like realistically, all his forces in that center and wants to push into that center, whereas actually on the left-hand side of the Yeti side, for lack of a better word, is only two little dogs, and on the right-hand side is only three Yetis. Like those are the ones he wants to punch back at, but all of his army's focused in the center, and that's just a problem in its own right, isn't it? Now that they're basically going to duke it out over the center as the flanks get lost.
Of course. Now, we've just seen, we're obviously in the hero phase right now for the Uruk Warclans, and we're seeing some mortal wounds put into the Stonehorn. He's also got Fight Last on him, so he's now down to 7 wounds. He's got Fight Last. He's got no output. He's slowly going down, as you can see here, and he's looking to put more bodies on this objective this turn. But he really should be probably pulling these Savage Uruks out of combat just to try and grab the objective. But it looks like he isn't going to do that. We'll see in the movement phase in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, between that Duke, if he ran him, and that Boar Boy, he could have taken that objective back.
He could have. That would.
I mean, he'd have had to have retreated from combat, I think, on both counts. So then, can the Stonehorn pile in 6 as well?
Stonehorn cannot, so he wouldn't be able to pile in.
Oh,
so yeah, so he's bringing the rock monster over to deal now with Stonehorn, as opposed to go aggro forward. And maybe he's even going to wait a turn, although the points are ticking up against him. Ultimately, we'll see what his decisions are here. He's been pinned in again. James, you've heard the term tilted. Could be what we're seeing here. You know what that term means, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem is now what we're watching is like, and I don't try not to make this nasty, because I think it's really easy when you're playing a game to get lost in the game.
Yeah.
But I just think there's several mistakes here. Like that Boar Boy should have reinforced that point. He could have taken that point back this turn.
He should have at least been on the point, right?
Yeah.
For whatever
and maybe his plan is that he's charging that Yeti and he'll get him on that side. But like he doesn't need to fight. Like he could take that objective without any combat.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to do.
So as we can see, the War Doc's on there now. So that War Doc being on, he ran onto the objective. So the War Doc being on the objective means that he's not that Stuart isn't going to be able to burn the objective. But of course, it's very if he keeps this unit of Savage Uruk boys in, I think he's just going to because this Frostlord counts as 10 for holding the objective, so he has to put more than 10 bodies on. And whether or not the Frostlord just might not do enough damage. So he's got +1 save.
Consistently doing, 8 to 12. He is now a bit battered.
But they have now got +1 save on them, so they've now got a 4-up save. And that's...
Not...
Wow, look at this, James. Big change, though. The Savage Boar boys, they moved up. They made an 11-inch charge trying to grab this top objective.
Okay, that's big.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll even get 3 models. With a pile-in, they might get 3 models on the objective. I think the Yetis are going to slap them right back off the objective, though.
And the Yetis get to fight first?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't get to fight. They don't get to fight first just because. No, you need to use a command point from a hero.
Okay.
In the combat phase, and there's no hero nearby. So with the pile-in, maybe we just heard from our table boss that the Yetis only killed 2 Boar boys in a kind of similar mirror matchup that we had at the bottom left-hand corner there at the first turn, and obviously they got the charge off as well, so they were striking first. So maybe it will go the Boar boys' way. They've got quite a lot of attacks, which is really important. -1 to hit on the Yetis. However, they've only got that 6-up armor save, so any that do go through more than likely are going to take some wounds off. There's 12 wounds on that unit of Yetis, 4 apiece. So whether or not they're going to end up holding this objective, we'll see.
The problem is key. Yeah, those Yetis, he needs to kill 1, I think.
He does. Yeah, he does.
To have if he just kills 1. Net.
Yeah, of course. And then he can burn the objective. And then kind of makes that all a bit redundant over there, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that this flank's kind of just been removed if that objective goes.
Yeah.
So that right-hand side of the board, just gone.
So we've seen the Boar boys pile in now. They should have piled in towards the closest, which would have been that Yeti, not that Yeti. So there we go. And then, keeping that coherency. So this combat's going to be very important to see who ends up taking it out, James. Twitch chat and you. Who you rooting for? What you thinking?
I think, for me, I see both of these models so infrequently. Not really sure what their damage output is like.
Okay. I know what you're saying. Twitch chat, we can read between the lines. You want the Boar boys to win because you're a Yeti racist.
I think I kind of want the Yetis to win at this point. I think the players have been really strong.
Yeah. I think both players have been playing great games. It's been really fun to see. Boars plus to hit and wound on the charge. Thank you, Potter's Tried to Paint. And of course, don't forget we're up to 24 faction points. So that means we're up to +1 to wound also on the Boar boys. So Potter Tries to Paint thinks we're all about the Boar boys, James.
They're -1 to hit, though, those Yetis.
They are.
So those Boar boys, there's 3 attacks each. 5s, then 3s.
5s and 2s.
5s and 2s.
So it's +1 to wound on the charge, and +1 to wound from Big War. Oh, look at that! 8 damage. 2 Yetis. 10 damage.
That was big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Yeti's almost dead. Well, he can't hold that point on his own. It'll be on fire soon, and he won't like that.
Yeah. 3s and 2s, and they have gone off the board there. So that's pretty big. So they're going to grab that objective, potentially hold it for a turn. So, but over into other combats, the other Yeti over here has swung into the Moor boys, did no damage. So we've still got the Moor boys to go. The Frostlord Stonehorn is striking last, don't forget. He's slowly getting swamped by these Savage Uruks. So that's going to be pretty key. James, you tired on this Saturday morning? You making the Twitch chat you on?
Oh, my apologies, Twitch chat. Well, I was happily awake reading Cursed City narrative when I saw you were streaming. I was like, that's early. I wonder who's on. And I was like, oh my God, Rob's awake this early on a Saturday morning. He must have wet the bed.
That's exactly what I did. We have decided that we're never covering tournaments starting at 8 a.m. again, no matter where they are in the world. It's just not human, I don't think. And also, I think we should normalise starting all events at 10 a.m. Like who's like
you're like
finishing?
a lion.
Well, who's finishing at 7 a.m. like or 7 p.m. on an early start tournament, and being like, oh, that gives me the whole evening to have a bike ride. No, just finish an hour later and go for some beers. That's what I think. That should be the plan.
Did once do an event that finished at 10:30 though. That was painful. That's a long day at Warhammer.
That's too much. Right, so the unit of Yetis here now piling into the Savage Uruks, looking to do some damage. Our lone Yeti, James, you'll be over the moon to know that's another dead Yeti for your pile of dead Yetis that you're in love with. So dead and gone. So that's that. I don't know if we've seen the other Yeti over here pile in yet, but these ball boys, 3 wounds each. So it's 15 wounds trying to clear off that objective, which he's obviously not going to do. Maximum of 6 damage coming out of the Yeti. So that's not going to happen. And I think at this point, this unit of Yetis in the middle just looking to do as much damage as they can to try and whittle this unit down.
I think there's a problem on this right flank though, isn't there? Because if Beastclaw get another turn, this Icebrow Hunter and 4 Frost Sabers can almost pressure this right-hand mid objective. So I think that's a concern. I think if I was the Orc player,
I think there is lots to play for in this game. There could be some big swing points late. I mean, that 11-inch charge has really brought some of the game back there. Huge play, big, exciting charge over at that top right-hand corner that's brought that objective back into contestation, which wasn't really anything we were overly expecting. However, this unit of Savage Uruks now in the centre, they're kind of holding both of these 2 objectives. With the rock monster behind them, you've got the unit of Frost Sabers and the Hunter threatening the objective here. Now I know that you've also got those Savage Boar Boys potentially threatening the back here as well. There could be some good mortal wounds coming out of the Thunder Tusk. It'll be very interesting to play for this back objective fairly safe. I think he's planning to try and run this single Savage Boar Boy over to that back objective, but we'll see. But if he loses this bottom objective here, this is going to be really key because he still hasn't got the output to take this Frostlord out. He's done some mortal wounds last turn. He's still got 7 wounds left. Yeah,
that giant rock just like wasted 2 turns of nothing.
Yeah, 2 turns of nothing. Now, this is, don't forget everyone who's joining us at home, this is one of the scrimmages of 4 that are happening in this single elimination knockout tournament. So there are 8 people who competed in a TTS tournament before called Grandhammer. The top 8 went through to this event, and they are playing to see who is the champ. This is one of 4 matches, as we've talked about. We have a Khorne versus Tzeentch match. We have an Ideneth Deepkin versus... Oh, no. I forgot now. And then we've got an Osiarchs. We've got an Osiarchs versus Tzeentch. An IDK versus Tzeentch? I can't remember. I'm going to have to go check now. The rest of the matchup. I've got an image, in fact, actually. We've got Khorne versus IDK in one of the other matches. We've got Tzeentch versus Osiarchs and Tzeentch versus Daughters of Cain are the other 2 matches that we have going on right now at this event. And we will hopefully get some updates from the TOs at some point. They could drop me a message, I think. Actually, I think Missouri has. So the other games, here's an update for what's happening in the other games. Owen's catapult got pulled in early and didn't get any shots off so far. Don't forget that's up against that Tzeentch force. Owen's topper 2 seems to be a bit of a slap fight. Story there it's rough for him and he's down points. Slower army is going to struggle unless he can actually use the catapult. So that's OBR versus Tzeentch, and the score is 4-4. Thanks to Missouri for this. And all the other matches are going pretty. They're still just going on. We don't really know if there's any sort of outcome at the minute. And Tzeentch gave the double away to Daughters of Cain with Bloodstalkers, Bellacord, but they still got to shoot both turns. Thanks to Missouri for that. So there is a Daughters of Cain army with a unit of 15 Bloodstalkers up against the Tzeentch force with Be'lakor in. Be'lakor stuck the ability. Be'lakor stuck the ability on the front Bloodstalkers, James, but they still got to fire both times. Rolled a 5 up to shoot twice. You got to be elated with that when you roll that, right?
Yeah, well, and also they're probably looking at him going, "You're getting a new model soon. We're not listening to these rules."
Yeah, agreed.
Don't want to listen to you, little man.
I'm with Lee Bromley about events starting later, 9 to 6. Well,
I've seen Lee Bromley morning 2 of an event. Played him. First time I ever played Lee Bromley. Morning 2 of Bobo. I think he was away from the table more than he was at it.
Exactly. There you go. That's the answer. That's what we want. We want 10 a.m. starts or we riot. So just to let you know what happened in the combat phase, we lost 2 more Yetis. Thanks to our table boss for giving us the information. I promise I was listening. We lost 2 more Yetis. And, as you can see, 1 more damage done to the Frost Lord on Stonehorn. 1 more.
That Frost Lord's having a great time.
He's just loving it. He's just like beating up. Now, the big question is how many Savage Uruks does he kill? Because he still counts as 10. And currently there are 4, 5 on the objective, and Wurzel really wants to do with his Uruk force is he wants to outscore him this turn. He wants to gain that objective back. So we'll see if he does. He's got +1 save on the army, on the unit. So he's only got to keep 5 alive. 4, 5. He's got to keep 6 alive out of that unit. That's going to be important. He's sat on a CP, so it's not going to be battle shock, so it's just raw damage. That's what's going to be really important. Morning to Colonel Cabbage in the fire chat. Okay. Right. So, James, this will be another little update for you from this turn, though, James. What were you saying about consistent damage out of the Frost Lord? Consistent.
Beautiful.
This time.
How many was that?
What's funny is we talked about +1 save on the unit, reducing the output on the Frost Lord. The Frost Lord seems to have been annoyed by the very idea that we would suggest that. So instead of doing the average damage that he was doing before of 12, he did 16 damage,
nice,
taking 8 of those guys out and owning that objective again. So that has gone completely the opposite way of what we were expecting. That's actually shocking. He's hurt more than he was 2 turns ago, and he was up against a unit with a better save, and he smote them. So he's still going to own that objective at the end of this turn. Still
super angry. And also, I think the problem is now that realistically he's sorry, I don't know the Orcs player's name. Wurzel has realistically now got to commit everything that's on this side to bring that Frost Lord down. And I just don't think he has the output without putting the Rock Monster in, and that's another turn of that Rock Monster basically doing nothing. He loses this priority. That Stone Lord's not got to do anything. I mean, really, he's going to charge Duke. He's going to kill that model. He's going to burn that objective, and then it's nasty.
Well, he's also freed himself out from combat, which is super important because scoring at the end of the turn, 6 points gone to Wurzel. He decided not to burn this objective at the top, hoping for the priority roll. Priority roll happens. Big 6 rolled by Stuart Iron Gutsman. He takes it, takes the turn, so our more tribes and our ogres have taken the turn. And this is a nightmare for the Uruk War clans. It means, just like you say, James, that Frost Lord can punch this Wardock to death, burn this objective if he wants to take it off the board, which is really key. He's going to score all of his 4 back objectives, which is going to put him on 17 straight off. Well, no, he's going to score 3 of his. He needs to somehow free up.
I think that, I mean, he's got, all these Frost Sabers, he's got all these Yetis. He could just commit 6 Yetis to that. Like, 6 into that, 3 into forwards, and he's held up his entire army again.
Yeah. So Wolf in the chat, Wolf on the chat is thinking, don't burn this bottom objective, drag the Rock Monster over to free you from there. I think that's what he's looking at in this particular situation. I mean, he could do, at this point, if he really wanted to, He could just absolutely slam in with all the Yetis and try and punch all these Savage Rocks again. I don't think he's going to. I think we're seeing some very selective defensive play. Another unit of 3 Yetis, James, run onto the edge of this unit of of Orc boys, hold them up again. It's such a solid play, right?
I think also, like, these Frost Sabers aren't doing a huge amount, and actually there's so few models on that back objective, that mid-right objective, that he could just walk through that as well. Like, just put so much pressure everywhere that I forgot his name again. Wurzel. He's just fighting on too many fronts now, I think. And that ball boy play was super good and super strong, and that 11-inch charge was such a turnaround. But now that's just another front for him to deal with, isn't it? Like, he's got so much stress on his home objectives.
Yeah, and it's gone, just for fans not of the priority role here, just like everyone to know, it's gone you go, I go. So that's the situation we're in. At this point, we would have wanted
the priority role's the best.
That's why the priority role is indeed the best. We really wanted, in this situation, priority role probably go to the Uruks to bring the game around and push it more towards a turn 4, turn 5. At this point, it's a pretty dominating downhill slope, I would argue, unless something goes significantly wrong, which you can't really see. It's a pretty significant play here for Iron Gutsman. I think he's going to score really big this turn anyway. He's going to score 3 at the top. He's going to score that bottom objective down there as well. So 4, 5. And then we've still got all of these other threats. So he's going to push his already commanding 7-point lead higher with only 2 objectives at the moment. Well, 3 objectives at the moment sat by. Look at that Yeti just causing mischief. Doing nothing but being used.
Well, he could pile into that war generator. Oh no, he's way out of 6. No, he's not. He's in 6 because that's a 6.
Yeah, that's intentional. That's intentional. He's done that on purpose.
He's only got one wound though.
But he's also creating a bit of a block for the rock monster to go into the Stonehorn. Yeah. Is so nice, so nice. Imagine that. Imagine what you're seeing there, but with a unit of archers. Yeah, that are kangaroos. Yeah, this is a great game to cover because this is really kind of pre-Lumineth kind of explanation. Like, if anyone is interested about playing Lumineth, especially the Kangaroo Riders, this will be a great game to watch to see some amazing plays. I think Stuart doing some really smart work with that move away and then pile in 6 inches, as we can see. So that's what we're seeing here. So that'll be something to watch out for in the future. I really do think, truthfully. So like, you love to see it, is what I'm going to say, and more of that as time goes on in the Warhammer Age of Sigmar universe. James, you going to get any kangaroos in your army?
No, I don't think so at the minute. I don't think so. I mean, I obviously yesterday had an entire box of models. This morning, an entire box of models that now need painting, so I can play Curse City with painted models.
Yeah.
So I got that to paint, and I've just built all that Zinch because we did that silly show on Zinch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at the minute I've just got a fair amount on. I'm waiting. I think we've talked about it before in the Monday show, but like, I'm at the point now where I'm always waiting for an FAQ.
For every army?
Before I buy anything.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, not long to go, I don't think. Thanks, Rocco, your boy. Thanks very much for asking me to hydrate and also for helping run the tournament. It's very much appreciated here. So, yeah, there are only 8 players and 4 matches per game, per round. But it's all to do with who's going to go through. 2 Zinch forces, a Khorne force, an Idoneth Deepkin force, a Daughters of Cain force, all to play for, and an Osiark Bone Reapers force. So could be any of them. Right, so
yeah,
as you see,
forward.
Yeah, that other unit of 3 Yetis is moving forward, and we're seeing the Icebrow Hunter and the Frost Sabers aggressively moving towards that bottom objective. In fact, actually, he might be able to grab this objective. So what have we got on this objective? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Not a lot.
6 models. So if the Icebrow Hunter, the Frost Sabers, and the Yetis can get in, then...
I mean, that's a big charge on those Frost Sabers.
Yeah. Big charge. I don't think he's going to get it.
But I don't think he even needs it, because at this point now he's got to deal with that. And he's got one block of 30 lads.
That's true. He does got to deal with it. Oh, we might see them all come forward now, though. And we might just see a big punch into this centre. We might see the Thunder Tusk coming as well. That other unit of Yetis going around the back. I mean, unfortunately, there's still some big points on the board, but the thing about Scorched Earth, which is quite good, is really you're scoring points. Like, you think about burning your opponent's objectives over time, but really you can really tick up points really, really quickly in the early phases. Because if you're grabbing one of your opponents, you're scoring your 4 and an additional one, and then they're only scoring 3, and then they're scoring 3, and you're scoring 5, and you're scoring 5, so you're already going up points. So you kind of have to, like, really push back. And I would say that we're not really seeing Wurzel doing that late game pushback that we're going to see. And in fact, it feels like the Ogres are dominant at the moment, is how I would look at the tabletop, James.
I think, like, just the general board control he's got at the minute is huge. Like, he's got this front or back left corner, depending on which way you're looking at the table. But this Frost Lord's basically held up an opponent and objective for the whole game.
He has. He's
still threatening it, because he's now got to commit something. I think that's the problem now. He's got 4 more boys, 1 ball boy, and a hero on that side of the board. That's it. And he's got to deal with a Frost Lord that 30 lads couldn't deal with.
It's true. It is very true.
He's got under 30. Oh, go for it.
Right. So this is the end of the movement phase now. As you can see, the Frostlord and Stonehorn, the hero that is, he's threatening a multi-charge, I would say, here. Looking to take out all of these. He might just take out the Moor Boys, to be honest. In fact, he might take out that Savage Boar Boy, just in case he tries to sneak up onto the top objective. And then also the Moor Boys at the same time. Which I think is key. The other stuff, how many wounds left on the Frostlord? Somehow, 6 wounds left on the Frostlord on Stonehorn. And he's been in combat since turn 1. And he's still fighting last, though. But I think he's not too concerned at this point. And then we're seeing the Blood Vulture come from the Huskard into the Savage Boar Boys, and I think we're going to see his Snowball. I don't know, actually. His Snowballs might still just go into the Savage Oryx, because it's still basically a flat 6 mortal wounds. 12... Oh, no. It looks like that's not the case. It looks like he's... So the Thunder Tusk has fired his Snowballs into the Boar Boys, so taking those out. Hopefully the Yetis will get the charge off. Looks like they've probably...
They can probably just pile in, can't they?
Yeah, they can pile in. Whether or not they'll be able to take them out is kind of the key question. Because don't forget, there's a 6-up DPR on this army now. That's quite important. Look at look.
That Stonehorn's ready for combat.
Stonehorn straight in. Frostlord in there. His mortal wounds from the charge going into the Moor Boys. So we'll see if he manages how many of those he take him out. There's 8 wounds in that brick. This is making me ogre curious. We're on turn 3, everyone, to let you know at home.
He's done 7 mortal wounds.
So he's killed 3 of the 4, and one's down to 1 wound. 1 left on 1 wound, and then he's going to do all of his attacks in that 1 Savage Boar Boy.
I think he just gets deleted, right? Like, you just take him off at this point.
Leaving him with only 1 character, but he's... Whoa! So the Frost Sabers have just made... Let's just make sure I know that that's okay. You can still declare the charge. You have to... Were they within 12? Because you have to be within 12 to declare a charge. Okay. Alright, sweet. So they've made a 14-inch charge. Which, James, look, there's a 11-inch charge at the top. Yeah? And now a 14-inch charge at the bottom. Can't argue with that, can you?
Yeah, now he needs to stop these piling in, right?
He does. He needs to stop them piling in, cause as much damage as he can, and not forgetting.
Oh my god, that charge!
The Thunder Tusk rolled an 11. Now look at that aura. This is what's really important. Look at this CP. Get ready for the Winter Bite command ability. This is a huge combination thanks to some massive charges. James, I'll read it out for you one more time, just in case none of us were clear. Pick one friendly Winter Bite hero. That would be that Thunder Tusk.
Yep.
Pick a friendly Winter Bite Frost Sabers and also Icefield Yetis. Wholly within 12 inches, can fight at the start of the combat phase. So all of those Yetis are striking first. All of those Frost Saber unit, well, that one Frost Saber unit is also striking first. They're all going before anyone else.
Jeez.
Yeah, and so they're all.
Which also gives him a 6-inch pylon to hold up that objective, doesn't it?
It does. So we'll see those Frost, but he has kind of blocked off his own unit of Yetis there, which I think is going to be really important. But this is huge. The unit of Yetis, the purple unit is the unit with +1 to wound, but they are not, as of yet, in the fight. And I don't think they will be, unless the pylons happen to work for them nicely. So yeah, we might see the profit go down here. That's pretty key. Huge charge. And again, threatening that back objective. So important. This is so good. Look at this 420-point bag of rocks who's done nothing all game.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Nothing useful. Okay, so he's using +1 command point to give the Frost Sabers a +1 attack. And he's not given striking first. I'm interested. As he'd used both. No, he's only given them +1 attack. Oh, so he's not even used the fight first, James.
He's not even scared.
Not even scared. Not bothered at all. It's all
that
ogre
Thunder
now.
Tusk's worth 10 models, though.
Pardon me?
Is that Thunder Tusk also worth 10 models?
That Thunder Tusk is worth 10 models. Good
He's
spot.
already on that point.
And he's just on that objective. So he counts as 10. So he grabs that. Now, he won't be able to burn the objective because there's a hero on the objective. There's actually 2. So you can't. But he is going to score points for grabbing the objective, which is just huge. And that 11-inch charge, really, really important.
Interesting that we haven't seen those yet. Is at the top do anything? I'm guessing they're going to pile in.
Say that again, James.
The Yetis at the top, so top right-hand corner, the way I think you're looking at the board, to defend from those boar boys, not done anything.
They haven't piled in yet. It's just when they decide to pile in. They could pile in whenever, right? Because the janky the piling from outside 6 inches can happen at any point, really, as long as it's during the combat phase. Because there's no they haven't charged, so they're not they're not part of the ongoing process, so they can kind of go whenever they want.
Those Frost Sabers did nothing.
They're not very good. Let's be honest.
+1 attack did what? 7,
they did
6,
3 damage.
3 wounds.
3 wounds into Mickey. Yeah. Oh, sorry. They did 2. The Blood Vulture already gave them 1. So now we're seeing the Savage Orcs try and pile in to try and grab this objective. The Huskard on Thunder Tusk, don't forget, -1 to hit because he's covered in snow. The Yeti's -1 to hit, so probably not going to see any of them go down, which means we're going to get that objective grabbed off as well. It's looking really good. Even James, with only with turn 3 still to go for the Uruks, and we've got still turns 4, 5. It's looking very good, right?
I'm just trying to add up in my head. This turn, he's going to get what 4? Well, if he takes his own top back one again, he's what 4, 5, 6 objective points, which puts him on 19 to 6.
Mm.
I don't even know how the orcs come back from this really at this point.
Me either, if I'm honest. But I'm hoping. I mean, we still have the big punch unit. What's interesting is we didn't see. Let's talk about the dichotomy between these two armies and how we saw them play. They both have these huge smash monsters. You've got Frostlord and Stonehorn, the one on the far left, and we've got the Rogue Idol in the centre. The Frostlord and Stonehorn, we've not protected him, we've used him, we've just thrown him in. It's like Archeon. You just throw him in. You don't keep him safe, you don't be fragile with him, you just throw him in, you use him to cause damage, create a threat, and do damage. And we've seen that with the Frostlord. Frostlord's almost dead, but he's also won that fight. Whereas we've seen the exact opposite happen. We've seen the exact opposite happen with the Rock Monster, the Rogue Idol, and he's done no damage.
Yeah. Oh, this is dangerous, look. I've just realised on these Savage Uruks in the middle, he's now only got one on the point. So that Yeti that's threatening the objective...
He's also got the Rogue Idol.
Oh yeah, I missed his base being there.
Yeah, it's huge base. So into combats just a moment ago, we lost a Yeti, just FYI, and the Huskard and Thundertusk took a damage so far. So that's all we've seen. I think the Yeti's still to pile in an attack.
So these have piled in the two. Are they black-based ones? The two black-based ones. The purple ones now have space to pile in their 6.
Mm.
So I think that's the other problem. So he's got one unit of whatever the hell's left of those Savage Uruks.
Can we talk about the reason? Oh no, yeah, agreed. Can we talk about the reason this Savage Boar Boy is the champion of the unit, James? Because he was able to do 2 wounds to the Frost Lord, where 30 Savage Uruks could not. 1 champ did. So he's done 2 wounds to those guys. So Frost Lord down to 4 wounds left. Almost. He's only been able to take out 10 Moor Boys, 5 Boar Boys, and 30 Savage Boys all on his own.
Just an army.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 60 wounds in the 30 block. It was 15 wounds in the Boar Boys, and it was another 20 wounds. So it's only 95 wounds he was able to kind of chew through on his own. So he's done quite well for an ogre on a big snow monster there. And look at that, we're losing more and more of these Uruk Savage Boys, James. Honestly, I don't think we can see a way for this army to bring it back.
No, I'm guessing these Yetis are going to go into this Breath of Gorka Morka hero.
Yeah, I would say so.
Which again is big if they bring him down, huh?
So we just saw the Huskard attack, and that's what we took out 3 more Savage Uruks, and now we've got the combat going on between the Gorka Morka fella. What's his name? God, say it so early.
Warduck? No, those are the dancer lads. Weird Duck.
He's done 6 damage though. 6 damage to the Frost Sabers. We lost 3 of our 4 Frost Sabers. That's pretty rough. I wonder if we're getting close to it being some parity on the objectives again. I don't think so. We've got...
It's just because of that Thundertusk being 10. I think that's the problem.
It's so good.
It's 7 to 10, 11, 12, 13 at the minute.
The Wardock. Yeah. So there's still a Wardock on the objective, of course. So he's not going to be able to burn it. But it's just for outscoring. But I don't think there's enough models there left. And don't forget, there's a late pile-in from these Yetis to bring another 3 models onto the objective. There we go.
They are.
So there we go. 3 more models piling onto the objective, grabbing that objective. So just again, really, it's interesting. When we started the game off, it was like, what are we going to do against those 2 bricks of 30 boys? And really, they've been cut to pieces over the course of 3 turns, slowly just chewed through. They just didn't seem to have the output. Now, eventually, the Rogue Idol's going to go in and do some damage, but at this point, it feels too little, too late, really.
I think the problem is, isn't it, with any of those punch units? So he's worth 1 on an objective, isn't he? He's not worth any more. So that beats him up.
Yeah, of course.
And then I think your other problem has to be that he's 1 model. And that big block of 30 has just been pinned in and controlled since turn 2.
Yes. Yeah. for the whole game really.
Oh,
And
this
again, that's the
Frost
power
Lord.
of those. That's the power of those MSUs.
That Frost Lord just removing models all day long.
And let's see what happened over here. We got the pile-in, James, with the 3 Yetis, and we also lost 2 more ball boys.
Yeah, which is trouble now.
Yeah, it was a coherency issue. So yeah, of course. So 1 wound was put on 1 model in the center, and then that meant that when that got taken away, the rest got removed. So that objective is his now. A big point swing. We've gone up to 20 points for Winterbite. They own the far left objective. They own the center right objective. They own all 4 of their own top. They own all of their own at the top, and I really am struggling to see how we pull this game back for the big war.
The ball boys have now got to retreat onto that mid right objective on the Beast Claw side, because they can take that one without any trouble.
They can score 1, yeah, and then they
can't burn it because there's a hero on it.
No, and then they need to kill this Yeti, the Frost Lord.
Good game.
It's actually 19-6 is the actual score. 19-6,
okay.
So a 13-point lead.
I mean, so 2, 4, 6, 8. If you burn them all, he's getting 8.
Yeah.
He's got to get every objective and burn all of them.
Yes, but that's
12.
It's not happening.
11. Oh my god.
We'll see. I don't think he's got really the output. I mean, to be fair, the Rock Monster's going to come in and he could smash all the Yetis this turn. Get the priority roll and you can maybe move stuff. He just doesn't have enough units left. The loss of the ball boys was actually fairly key. And again, another really good conversation about how to play this battle plan. Those little throwaway units that you have, like those 5 ball boys or those 5 horsemen or something, you kind of like think, I'll just use them to hold an objective. And really, what you want to do is keep them back and use them to threaten objectives later. They're not the thing that you lose first. They're the things that you use later on. And really, you should try and screen with your big punch units and create like big walls. So I feel like I don't know what we are going to see come out of the Uruk army this turn to pull this game off. I don't think there is a solution, truthfully. I think he's going to go for it though, but and that's tough on Wurzel. Any priority rolls and any of the priority rolls that we've seen previously go to Wurzel, I think we would have ended up with a closer match than we've seen here. I feel this is a little bit unfair, but then that also would have been a double turn. So, and I know how people feel about that. Wrongly, that's how they feel.
For whatever God knows reason.
For whatever reason is the exact answer. So we've seen Breath of Gorka Morka cast right now, and we're seeing the Rogue Idol he's got +1 damage as well. He is getting all of the buffs now, James. He's going to go wild. He is going to go exactly 5 to 6 inches left or right. That is what he's doing. He's going.
Yeah, like the problem is, isn't it?
What's up?
He looked like he was measuring him to the backboard.
Well, it depends if he's because he's going to have it depends if he's got the moves buff off on him, and he's also got fly. So we'll see when he gets those buffs off. So we'll just double check in a moment what's happening there.
I think the problem is though, isn't it? He removes him from this backboard to push from his own backboard to push his opponent's backboard, and then he's basically got this Yeti who's threatening this point, a Stonehorn who's threatening this point with a like that Stonehorn, Frostlord on Stonehorn. He's got that objective and he's not losing it. That Wardog's not doing 4 damage, right?
No, he's not. He's not even close to doing it, James. That's what he's doing. He's not getting anywhere close. So, which is fine. So it's the Breath of Gorka Morka spell that he got off. To the next hero phase, double the unit's move characteristic. If in addition, next hero phase, that unit can fly if the casting roll was a double. and then triple the unit's move characteristic. We don't know if it was a double or a triple. We'll find out from our table boss on Breath of Gorka Morka. But he is good. Was it a cast with a double or a triple is the real question. It was cast on a double, James.
Oh?
Yeah, so that unit can fly. We've now got a flying stone monster. That's what we've got. Finally happened. So he is flying across the board with +1 damage. So he could go threaten the back of the board now, which kind of leaves him up against it, I think. We'll see if he decides to throw him at the enemy. We've just seen another. Have we seen another mortal wound go onto the Frostlord? Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that. He is across the board, buffed up to high heaven. Are we going to see him? I think he moves 24. He might not. So it's doubled his movement. So tripled his movement. No, it's doubled his movement, right? If Casserole was a double, triple. Oh wait, yeah, of course it's tripled his movement. Sorry, tripled when it's on a double. So he is going very far. What's he going to take out? He's just going to smash one thing really well.
Well, if he smashes those 3 Yetis.
All he does is take that objective. I guess he can take that back objective at the top, and then he can also bring those ball boys over here, and then grab that objective off the fire belly, I would guess, is kind of a strategy.
Yeah. Because then he could burn one, score one. It's just not enough. Like, the problem is now he can't really afford to burn objectives either.
No, he can't. He has to hold on to the objectives at the same time. I mean, he's got 13 points to pull back. It's a significant swing. He's not going to get this bottom left-hand objective. He can grab this one, and he can maybe grab this right-hand objective, but he has to kill the Huskard on Thunder Tusk to take out 10, or put 10 bodies on the board. He could probably put 10 bodies on the board in that situation. So he could probably get that. So he could probably grab 2 of these objectives back. So it's going to get him 2 points. Then
I don't see him getting this one with the Frost Huskard on.
You don't see it?
No.
Okay. Well, so don't forget the whole army now is +1 to hit, +1 to wound. It's much more deadly. Those wire points finally stacked up, so they're all the way at the top. So he's got all of the output that he needs. But he's going to score maybe 4 this turn. Like bringing it close. There is a priority roll to go though, so he could ruffle stomp over across a load of the units. So we're into the charge phase straight away. No messing. Super quick. Into the charge phase. We're looking at Rocky looking to hit into the Yetis. He doesn't want to roll a double 1. I think he'll be fine.
There's no one there to help him though.
There's no one there to help him. He's on his own. We'll see in a moment what that is. It's very close, James. It's fun, right?
Yeah. I was just saw that Wardock got picked up and was waiting for him to charge the Stonehorn. He did not.
He did,
which was sensible.
Not. Yeah. So we're just seeing. We just find out from events happening at. The other 3 games happening around the event. It looks like over in the Deepkin game, the bottom of turn 2 in favour of Deepkin, and its Khorne's currently... Rocky's doing a good job keeping us posted. Oh, good. Thanks very much. So it looks like in the Khorne versus Deepkin game, it's going quite well to Deepkin in that Archeon matchup. There's a load of armies. James, are you rooting for Tzeentch now?
Always.
As your team? Okay.
Oh, so what is Tzeentch playing?
Tzeentch are playing against Owen Jackson and Osiark Bone Reapers. And
I shouldn't go. No, I can't go against Owen, though.
And they're also playing against Daughters of Cain, whereas there's an Idneth Deepkin match versus a Khorne army. So,
okay,
of
well,
course...
I'm always going to root Tzeentch, apart from against Owen Jackson, because me and him are winning the Honest Wargamer tournament. So...
No, you're not. I'm going to crush him. That's what I'm going to do.
I think you're going to lose to him, and then you'll be embarrassed to even talk to me.
Well, I win either way. I either win or I lose with Sinesh. Either way, I'm a winner. Like that setup, that works for me. Right, so we've just seen Rocky has he made his charge? I think he's tried to make his charge.
Yeah.
But then why
He's
is he 2
weirdly...
points?
I don't know.
He should be within range.
There we go. I'm guessing he's 2-inch range, right?
Yeah. So, I think he's just he wants to, on the priority roll, he wants to take out that top right objective at the same time. I think that's the plan. That's what he's looking to do. So smash through the Yetis, and then next turn move over, smash through the Frost Sabers, and then he grabs all that top objective. I mean, and then I guess keep trying to take down the Frost Lord. I guess we also seen a charge right now from the War Chanter has taken out the Yeti here. He's taken out the War Chanter. Well, he's made the charge. Whether or not the War Chanter is going to do anything, we'll see. But he's made the charge at least into the Yeti. But 6 wounds on the War Chanter, so I don't think he's going to go down anytime soon.
And there's a command point over here, so all these Yetis could fight first, right?
Which ones? Yeah, because it's the start of the combat phase, not the start of your combat phase. So it potentially could. Is a smart little play. Okay.
I mean, it seems to be the sensible option to try and minimise the amount of Savage Orcs, I would have thought. And get a pile in to stop them piling in.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. He just wants to take out as many as possible in this situation. Feels like it's on like a knife edge, but I think the points are too far ahead.
Yeah, I think like at this point it's a really interesting game, like player-wise. But I think 19-6 probably says it's already over, because realistically this turn we're on what, turn 3? He's gonna get, so let's say he burns this one, he's gonna get 2, 3. He's getting 3 points, maybe 4.
He's gonna,
and he just can't burn them. That's the problem.
yeah, he can't burn. Or he can burn 1.
I don't think he can.
We've just seen the Yetis. So the command point has been spent, James.
Yeah.
Command point has been spent to burn. Command point has been spent on the Yetis, so that they're going to strike first. So looking to do all of that damage into those Savage Uruks before anyone else. The Boar Boys have charged into the top, into the 3 Yetis. They don't forget they got +1 to hit, +1 to wound, and they've charged. So another +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So 3s and 2s at the moment, and it could even be 2s and 2s. So we might see those Yetis fall by the wayside, and again he could grab that objective back. So there's 2 objectives that are in contestation here, with the priority roll coming up for turn 4. But I think losing more of these Savage Uruks is quite key, because he's pushing loads off this objective now, and he's going to hold on to this objective again. Frostlord's got it there, so he really is scoring, like you say. He's just taken 3 out, while there's still 3 on the board for the Moor tribes. But the Moor tribes are far ahead. Like, it's cool if you're in equilibrium when you were kind of on an equal footing, but it is not an equal footing. It's 19-6. So there's going to have to be some big plays here. But a priority roll will mean that he's going to be able to take a few more of the objectives. He's going to be able to take that top left hand as well. But he's not going to be able to... He's only winning with the Rogue Idol. He's not winning anywhere else. Like, he's losing everywhere else over time, I think. So there we go, seeing the Yetis attack now. And that's quite a lot of attacks. That's 5. Oh, wow. But between them, they've only done 4 damage, James. So they've got +2 save on that unit of Uruks. So they're on a 3-up, re-rolling 1 save. 3-up, re-rolling 1s. So they're fine. And they've only taken 4 damage. However, as we know, they hit. They hit like... I don't even know. Like, none of those jokes about Prince Philip were okay to say, so I made none of them. So,
Too soon.
I want everyone to know that I took the high road on that, and I made none of those jokes. But they hit badly, is the point. Not well, is where we are. Yeah. I tell you what, this is why covering one game, eventually, I'd like it. Because after a while, you're just watching models slowly move, and it takes forever. Come on, let's go.
Maybe
MJ, I didn't
should,
make the joke. That's important.
You should message TTS and have them do it so you can watch 4 games simultaneously.
I know. It's the dream.
Imagine how much your computer would blow up.
Yeah. Well, it's because we don't. It's because we could. It's just we don't have the overlays because the overlays don't work for this. It doesn't make any sense. What's up? What are you looking at, James?
Just this dice rolling. I'm guessing it's these Yetis hitting Rocky.
Yeah. They're going to be... So, the Rocky's gone in, and he smashed into the Yetis.
He lost 3 wounds.
He lost 3 wounds?
Yeah.
Wow.
Got smashed.
Okay, so he's taken 3 wounds. He's still fine. I think is the answer. We also lost, this is really important, we lost 2 Yetis at the top right-hand objective. Yeah, so we lost 2 Yetis up there from this unit of ball boys. So they swung in, we lost them. And now who's activating Table Boss? Rocky. No. Okay, I don't ever want to know their names. I want the War Chatter. It's cool that so the War Chatter is now activated into the Yeti. The Yeti is gone. Oh, sad face. We lost that Yeti as well. We've still got these 5 Yetis to be piled into. The Thunder has got 11 wounds left. So let's see who's activating next. Oh, he's also swinging next with who? Did you hear what he said, James?
No.
We're in the combat phase, lads, and some units are activating. Is where we are. Winner Dave, thanks for following. Thanks for resubscribing. Appreciate it loads. I know Deepkin versus Korn. Deepkin win priority. This is on another table, James. Deepkin won priority, turn 3, and is cleaning up now. His Thrall's got an 11-inch charge and is kicking Archeon's ass. So Idneth Deepkin have beaten Korn.
It's always a good day when Korn die.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good day.
Yeah,
and Korn doesn't care because he's boring.
Exactly. Big shout out to Forgive, who's winning that game. So we could. So the Huskard activated. That's where we were, and he only did 1 wound. Who's activating next, Table Boss? I think it's the Savage Oryx in the center, right? Bingo. So yeah, so the Savage Oryx activating there into that unit of into all of these, into the Yetis and into the Huskard. The Huskard only doing 1 wound in addition. So the Savage Oryx not really taking a lot of pressure there, James. Not.
They just can't get bodies on the point though, can they? That's the problem.
That is the problem.
You should have gone with that War Dog first, maybe. Got him in. Got some more bodies on that point.
Yeah. What? Moved him around.
Yeah, just to try and get more bodies on. Because if he can kill enough Yetis, even then, he can't get enough on, can he, at the minute?
Yeah, he can't. He needs to get 10 onto the objective, and he just isn't doing that, which is the unfortunate part. So he needs as many as he can, and it's just not happening. Although he hasn't reclaimed that objective, that unit at the top, unless that Yeti rolls a 6 on his bravery. I don't think that Yeti in the top right-hand corner has actually activated. So the Yeti could take out one of the ball boys, and that'll swing it back. But right now, this is... So he hasn't activated yet. So this could be fairly close, this fight.
The one at the very back could pile in 6 probably as well. Do some damage.
100%. Oh, yeah, he could. Yep. Yeah, he could. Yeah, you're right. So
yeah, because that objective's 6 to the middle.
Yeah. And I think either way, yeah. Like, he's just not getting any points. He's just not getting any points this turn, is what's happening. So we'll wait till the priority, ladies and gentlemen, and then I think the game is called, is how I'm feeling. I don't know about you, James, but like it feels like that's the right call. Just to catch you guys up with the rest of the event, as we know, we've got 2 matches still in contention we don't know about. IDK, it seems, have taken out one of the other matches. Unfortunately, oh no, Zinch have beat Owen, James.
Send him an angry message in a minute. In fact, it's okay. Maybe he's saving all his good dice rolls for you.
Potentially. But it does sound... it unfortunately does sound like Owen lost. So OCR Bone Reapers versus Zinch. I feel like it would have been a big play had Owen won that match. Probably favoured not to win it going into this particular battle plan. against that Tzeentch force. He doesn't really have the tools to do so. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So that does mean Tzeentch, Idoneth Deepkin, and also Ogre Moor tribes are more than likely, based on this match results so far, 3 of the armies going through into the semi-finals with still a Tzeentch versus Daughters of Cain army to see the results of. Now, into combat for this particular match, the Huskard on Thundertusk is still engaged in the fight, but
Still
is now
alive,
down. But he's now down to 5 wounds. He's only got 5 wounds left.
Still 10 models. And that's all that matters, I think. He's still 10 models, isn't he? And at this point, that's all that matters, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Yeah, that's all that matters. Like, when he's down to 1 wound. And we also saw 2 Yetis go down, but that's not really that important. Here we go. The lone Yeti into the Boar Boys at the top. Really, really good. Here we go. So I just want one of these Boar Boys to go down, if I'm honest, James.
Why?
Just
You're angry against
there
the
we
Boar
go.
Boys?
Just so it's definite. So I can call the game. It's exactly why. There's no late game plays. There's no teleports. There's no pocket units. There's no somehow a triple priority. The Rogue Idol. Is he going to smash 3 Yetis? He should do. He's -1 to hit, but he's also +1 to hit from Big War. So he's +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So that -1 to hit's going to do nothing to him. So he's basically 2s and 2s. He might do 1 billion damage. He can potentially do 20, 34 damage right now. No, in fact, that's not true because he's got +1 damage.
Oh,
so,
there we go.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, significant damage is what he can do. So it's 3 attacks each with the stomping feet. So 30 damage alone from them with 2d6 +1 each. So 32, potentially 40 damage coming out of the Rogue Idol there. So those 12 wounds on a 6-up save. Not long for this world. So he is going to grab that objective. Which means he's got 1. 1 objective. And then this bottom left-hand corner, centre left, he has got 2 objectives for the Uruk Walklands. The rest is history there, James. Not very good at hunting monsters, these Bone Splitters, eh?
No, not at all. That Frost Lord, just walking around, having a great day out.
Uh-huh. Oh, no. So we did see that Yeti over at the top right-hand corner run away. I thought you said one of these Boar Boys went down. Is that wrong? Was that wrong? Oh, he went down to 1 wound. We should probably discuss wording we use in the future.
I don't know why he wouldn't have piled that second Yeti in.
I don't know why he wouldn't pile that second Yeti in, because that has given him a bonus point now, right? So it's taken him up to 9. 19 to 9, with a priority roll coming up. 19 to 9. So red dice has beaten black dice.
Cool.
So that is the priority roll, and it has once again has gone to Ogre Moor tribes. It's 19-9 with an objective at the top for themselves, which is theirs. So they could have, if they'd have got the turn, they could have taken that top left objective. Potentially, they'd have scored 2. They'd have pulled back 4 points. Yes, maybe they could have taken down. They probably would have taken down the Huskard this turn as well. So it would have been. Let's work this out. 1, 2. Then that would have been another 1, 2. And then they'd have grabbed that one. That's 3, 4, 5. So they'd have taken another 5 points this turn, and taken themselves up to 14. So it would have been closer. So really, really close, but not all the way back. And then obviously Stuart would have had a turn to retaliate. So he would have still grabbed more points on here as well, and pushed him over the top. So I think the guys have called it, James. That is the end of the match.
Nice. Great guys, great lists.
Great guys, great list. We'll just come back to some pictures of us. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the match. Well, welcome back to the studio. Good game. Good game. Got to say that I feel the game would have been very, very different if we'd seen that Rogue Idol get in the match way earlier, James.
Yeah. He did nothing. He was, what, 500 points?
Yeah. 420 points.
Yeah, I've nothing. He killed however many points 1-3 set of Yetis.
Yeah, exactly. MJ Pegasus says, a game where the priority roll is in it, but it doesn't affect the sequence, is the best of both worlds, I think. Interesting.
Cool.
Interesting. Just buffing Wardock's cast, says Eric Sorben. I think there's a lot to unpack there, but I think that there was enough output and enough threat from the Uruk Warclan's army that he could have gone more aggressively into that. That's not to criticise Wurz in any way. I'm sure he had a battle plan, and it looked like it was working quite nicely. But that Frostlord on Stonehorn, the star of the show, eating through every single unit, and probably actually just the innate battle trait coming out from Ogre Moor tribes that they count as 10, right?
Yeah. I just so strong. I mean, it gave the Huskard the ability to control that point. It gave the Frostlord the ability to control that point, and they just don't die. Like the fact he just couldn't kill him. Exactly. 3 wounds left. He's been in combat the whole game. Nuts.
Yeah. Wild. Well, listen, we'll be back. I'm just trying to find out the time for when we'll be back. Well, I seem to have lost it for some reason. 12 o'clock. So what time is it now?
10:30.
Well, we'll be back in an hour and a half. An hour and a half with the next match. We know that definitely Azinch Force has gone through. We know Idneth Deepkin have gone through, and we know Ogre Moor tribes have gone through now as well. So not long left to find out what's happening in the Daughters of Cain versus Tzeentch list, which is going on as well. But it looks like Daughters of Cain potentially taking out that match, so it's going to be fun. Adam's going to be joining me. James, thanks very much for joining us and saving us today.
It's been a pleasure.
You've been a gentleman and a squire. Twitch chat, join us again in an hour and a half. Again, our table boss has been Matt, so he's helped bring all the information from the tables. You guys are great. We'll see you guys soon. Join us in an hour and a half. Goodbye.